Hello, this is Lake Tahoe Television News, Lake Tahoe's only local news program. Former South Lake Tahoe Police Officer John Poland was sentenced to 18 months in prison this week for obstructing an official proceeding. The 45-year-old former school resource officer pleaded guilty to the charge back in May. Poland was accused of persuading a South Lake Tahoe gang member's girlfriend to conceal and destroy evidence, and he was also accused of tampering with evidence in his own misconduct investigation. There were also allegations of inappropriate sexual conduct with underage girls while he was working at South Lake Tahoe High School. Some of the other witness tampering charges were dropped as part of Poland's plea deal. Poland is expected to turn himself in to prison authorities on November 6th to serve out his sentence. Congressman Tom McClintock, representing the 4th District of California, read a speech on the House floor this week that appeared to support President Obama's decision to defer to Congress whether or not to take military action against the government of Syria. McClintock started off by saying the United States has suffered international humiliation because of our war with Syria, a confusing start to his speech given that the United States is not at war with that country. McClintock's speech was aimed primarily at declaring his opinion that only the Congress has the sole authority to decide whether or not to go to war. McClintock said that a president initiating such a thing unlawfully is the highest crime a public official could possibly commit. And if the power of impeachment were not intended for such an act as that, I cannot imagine what that would be for. McClintock ended his comments by saying the president was absolutely right not to cross that line by deferring to Congress. McClintock has taken a stance against American military intervention in Syria. In Truckee, one of the more notoriously dangerous roadways, shared by vehicles, cyclists, and pedestrians, is known by locals as the Mousehole. This is the railroad underpass on Highway 89 South between the Crossroads Shopping Center, where CVS is located, and the Donner Creek Mobile Home Park. The underpass has narrow lanes and very narrow shoulders. Pedestrians and cyclists frequently use the tunnel, and when they do, vehicles can barely squeeze by. It's always been a problem with no cheap solutions. However, construction is now planned to start in 2015 on a project to improve the Mousehole and make it safer for all traffic. The project will build a pedestrian and bicycle tunnel to the east of the existing tunnel. The cyclists and pedestrians would be able to connect with other trails. The town of Truckee announced this week that the Mousehole project has been selected to receive a $1.5 million grant in federal government funding. Anyone operating a business in the Lake Tahoe Basin might be familiar with the term BMPs, or Best Management Practices. This is also a term used by the Tahoe Regional Planning Agency to describe certain measures that can be taken by businesses to minimize soil erosion and stormwater runoff, which are partly responsible for polluting Lake Tahoe. The TRPA recently sent a letter out to businesses in the Tahoe Basin encouraging them to adopt these BMPs and even offered rewards of sorts. Compliant businesses will receive frame certificates and window stickers identifying them as lake-friendly. That's it for now from the Lake Tahoe Television News Studio. I'm Robert G. Scott.